You see that? What is it? It's an animal cracker. All right, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Out there in TikTok land. Let's have some fun. I think it's fun. Mrs. Aries, baby, hello, how are you? Krista, hello. What is going on? Ask me where I've been. Ask me where I've been. I dare you. I've been right here. I'm doing good. Thank you, Mrs. Aries, baby. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Hello, hello, hello? I think you can hear me. Where have I been? Well, thank you for asking. I got trapped in Boston. Apparently, this was a bad weekend to go to Boston if you don't want to get trapped. But I got trapped for 2 days. 2 days I got trapped in Boston. It was fun, I guess. Mama Robes, what's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, because of snow. There was like 20 plus inches of snow. We were supposed to get out Sunday afternoon, but we didn't get out till Tuesday night. I got home at midnight. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Austin Hamilton, also known as the Porn Coach, the coach of porn. And I'm here to ask the question, is porn cheating? That's the question. You see it right there. Is porn cheating? I'm going to ask that question, but you're going to answer it. You, the people on the internet, are going to help us find the answer to this question. Is porn cheating? It's a doozy of a question when you really dive in. Don't believe me? Stick around. Stick around. You will hear some things from people who like to say things on the internet. Live, publicly. Oh, Krista, did you mean to request? No, you didn't. You just went away. All right, I see a guest there, eBank 2033. Give me 1 minute and I'll get you on. I just gotta finish setting everything up here. I'm about to sneeze. Oh my gosh, we got all sorts. Okay, hopefully got that out of the way so we can return to our show where we ask the question, is porn cheating? All right, grab your popcorn. Church is in session. Let's go. Thank you, Mama Robes. Can you chat about with me? Sure.
Yes,
Hey there, what's going on? Hello. Hello. iMac MS 9999. You there? Hello?
I don't think it's cheating.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Are you 18 or over?
Because you're like,
Hey, hello. Can you hear me? Cutting in and out. Can't hear you.
give me a second.
Okay, we'll wait. In the meantime, I'm eating animal crackers. What animal is this? What do you think? Elephant? It's got a pretty small trunk. Llama? I don't know why they'd put llamas in animal crackers. Yak? Really? Yak and animal crackers? All right, here's my opinion on this question. Is porn cheating? I think that if you're in a committed monogamous relationship with another person and you've said something like, I love you, only you, mind, body, and soul, till death do us part. If you made that exclusive commitment or agreement with your partner, if you deviate from that agreement, whether it's using a person on a screen or in real life, I think you've gone against the agreement and you've therefore cheated. What do you think? What is your opinion? Are those your kids' snacks? Yeah, but whatever's my kids is mine, so they're my snacks. Yeah. Are you Christian? Define Christian. Define Christian. Yes, I believe in and follow the ways of Jesus. What about you? At least try to. It's kind of hard out there in this world. All right, let's get some guests on. If you want to weigh in on this prompt, is porn cheating? Share your story. Maybe you watch porn and you're proud of it. Maybe you're in a relationship with somebody who watches porn and it's devastating to you. You're experiencing partner betrayal, trauma. You want to share that. Maybe you make porn. We hear crazy stuff here on this live. And it's fun? Can we use that word? Fun? How would you describe it, chat? All right, here's a guest. No guest. Hey there, what's going on?
Hello?
Hi there.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's an interesting question. What do you think? Is porn cheating?
Well, I'm asking the questions here, at least to start. First of all, are you 18
you
or over?
are. Okay. Well, I think it isn't.
You think it
Not.
isn't? Okay. Are you 18 or over?
No. Am I what?
Are you 18 years old or over?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, got it. You don't think porn is cheating. Why is that?
No. Because it's a fantasy in the end. It's as long as it doesn't affect the daily life of a couple, I feel it's completely human. Like if I went on a trip for about a month and I left my partner alone at home, yeah, he has to have his moments of, how can I say it, of liberation. And I prefer that far more than him cheating me with someone he actually knows that has the potential of them building a real relationship. I think mostly it's just a moment and then they let it go. I mean, speaking of an action that is in good equilibrium and doesn't affect everyday life, I wouldn't give it to be very honest, I think it's something, I don't want to normalize it, but it's far more common than we can think. So it would be naive from my side to expect my partner not to ever use it. It's naivety.
Got it. Okay. All right, are you married?
Well, we could say that I am. I have my partner. We've been together like for over 17 years, yeah.
Got it. Okay, so you've been together 17 years, but you're not married.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you guys
Yeah, in
both...
fact, one time... Sorry,
Oh, go ahead.
can I
Go
say
ahead.
this too? No, I mean, one time he was in the living room and then I was looking for something and then I found him, in the moment, and I felt ashamed. Like I felt that I was interrupting him for real because I felt his face like of guilt. But we have so much complicity that I left the room.
So you you walked in on him one time watching porn and masturbating?
Yeah.
And you felt ashamed as though you were interrupting him?
Well, I wouldn't say ashamed, but it's not like ashamed, but I felt I was invading him, to say it somehow, because we do have a lot of complicity and we speak a lot about things. I tell him my fantasies, he tells him his. We're like friend lovers, and that has kept us together for many years.
Got it. Okay. All right. What's your... do you watch pornography as well or just him?
I'm not really into it. No, because I don't have so much testosterone to say it somehow. But it
Got it.
doesn't scare me at the same. It's not something like I maybe biologically say I would need.
Hmm.
I do have my fantasies, maybe more like in the real life. And it's nice to have a partner with whom I can share anything. Even I'm so attracted to your friend, he's hot, and he'll take it for what it is, me being human. I don't have to pretend I'm someone that I'm not. And that's
Got it.
really liberating for us.
Okay. And then real quick, hey, chat, is the volume level of my music okay? Is it too loud, too soft? I was messing with it earlier, but if you guys could just let me know. All right, so that time when you walked in on him watching porn and masturbating, you felt shame, like you were interrupting him. Why do you think he was doing that? Why do you think he was using pornography?
Okay, so he's been single before me. He was single for such a long time that maybe he integrated that in his life, I would say.
Okay.
That's how I would put it.
Okay.
Because that didn't mean we didn't have our own intimate moments. In fact, one time we had our time and he was like, we did it like once or twice, and he was watching porn at the same time.
While you guys were being intimate?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you feel about that?
Nah, like I say, it's fantasy. It's fantasy in the end. If
Okay.
it's I'm not speaking about addiction. I'm speaking about just a part of sexual life.
Mm-hmm.
Just another toy, to say it somehow.
Just another toy?
Well, toy is a way to say it, but it's just another way to be together. Yeah.
Okay. So on at least a couple of occasions, he has watched pornography while you guys are being intimate at the same time?
No, twice, just twice. In 7 years. It's not that much.
Okay, got it. How did you feel about that?
I didn't give it any importance. Because I don't feel like it's something like he needs it.
And why did he do it?
Well, he was just experimenting.
Experimenting. Okay.
Like twice in 7 years. Like different from a friend that I had, that she did feel neglected by her partner because she had no intimacy with him. And he was addicted to porn. And he was watching porn like very frequently.
Yeah.
That's a different story. That I wouldn't accept it. I would have left the man. I think we cannot generalize and every situation is different. But if I would be neglected in that way, I would definitely wouldn't accept it.
Mm-hmm. Got it. All right. Do you know how often your partner watches pornography?
Well, not that often. I would say I have no idea, but I'm sure that it's not that often because I would realize it.
How are you so sure?
Because we spend a big time together. I don't know. I see him like we know. Like we have this instinct, we know. The way we speak, the way we talk, we take 2 hours every day to go for a walk and talk about life. Whenever we're not together, he gets upset if I don't call him to wish him a good night.
If he was watching it regularly, would that bother you?
Oh, well, regularly, that's a different story. Regularly, yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable.
Why is that?
Because then maybe, so regularly can substitute our intimacy for sure. Like it can numb the partner. It would feel like I'm competing in terms of intimacy against the fantasy, and I wouldn't be comfortable with that. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Because
so what level of frequency do you believe would begin to where you would have those thoughts to say, okay, this is actually getting in the way of our intimacy?
Okay, so the way to know, and I have just realized it, is depends on how numb the person is when you are in the intercourse. And so when I'm having intimacy and I see a desire and him connected to me and him not being numb, like taking hours to come, I know he's present with me. And I think that's the threshold to
Got it.
know if porn could be affecting or not a relationship.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, but you haven't asked him how often he uses it. I'm curious why that is.
What?
Why you
What do you
guys
mean?
haven't talked about how often you guys use pornography.
Because I don't see it as a big deal. Maybe, to be very honest, if I don't see it as a big deal because our sexual life is good, maybe I don't want to invade that part of him because it's not affecting me.
Got it.
Maybe I take his privacy, his intimacy as something that is not affecting me, and maybe I want to respect that. I don't want to be asking him like that level of, to put it somehow, personal questions that from my side feel like controlling because I don't feel I need to. But if I would see that I'm with him and he's numb, or he is not having intimacy with me, or it takes an hour for him to come because he's numb, then that's when I would bring the topic out and confront it. And in any case, if I have to, I'd leave the relationship.
Yeah, got it. So there is some sort of line where you do think it would be a problem, but at least right now, it's not a problem, and so you don't feel like you need to talk about it with him.
But you think it's a problem in relationships, like honestly?
Yeah, I think that. I think that
Always.
I think that pornography is always engaging in something that creates an intimacy wedge between the two people in a romantic relationship.
But like, what percentage of men do you think don't use porn? Like, what percentage? Like, honestly.
Well, it depends on how you want to look at that and which studies you want to look at. But
Okay.
you'll get varying answers to that, and it also depends on frequency and whether we look at addiction versus casual use. But typically, you'll see numbers on around 60 to roughly 95% of men
Yeah.
use pornography on at least a regular basis.
Yeah.
So-
Like, if I would have,
So
say.
to take the worst case of that would leave about 5% who don't use it
Yeah.
on somewhat of a regular interval. Now that could mean once a year, right?
Let me
It-
tell you.
Yeah.
So I had my husband, my first husband. He wasn't at all into porn, not at all into masturbation. He was like, I was like his second partner,
Mhm.
and that made me very scared because I felt he was like out on the street alone, him being in the flat alone. I couldn't trust him because I felt he was very easy to manage because out of this lack of experience. It's like if he hadn't gone, he didn't know himself enough. So he wasn't aware of his limits. That made me scared.
So you were
That made
scared
me
because
scared.
he hadn't explored his limits with regard to sexual experiences, and you were a little.
It was hard for me to determine if it was because he truly felt it, he truly believed in it, or
Mhm.
because it was the right thing to do. But one
Got it.
who is moved by the conviction of the right thing to do can sometimes change their minds for any existential crisis and go through adolescence. And we've seen many men go through adolescence in their 50s. And that does make me scared.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
prefer someone that accepts their humanity just as it is, because statistics say reality, and that's something we have to adapt. And I would be lying to you if I said I don't love men. Like, I really love men. I really like men, and I see them for what they are. I'm not adapting to that reality. Maybe love and a sense of complicity has made me take things for what they are and value what could be or what couldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
But
Well, here's the question: is what would you prefer from your partner? Would you prefer your partner strive to only put their eyes on you and give you their sexual energy, if you want to call it that, or would you
Well, okay,
prefer
so-
that they're doing that with you and other people on the internet?
Honestly, if I had to choose, like in an utopic dream, I would definitely always prefer for us to live a shared sexuality that comes out of health and connection with our bodies and between ourselves. But that sometimes with daily life is impossible, because life is designed to educate or to domesticate our wildness, and that disconnects us from nature, and we develop so many mechanisms of adaptation, and one of them for sure is porn. So it's very, like, utopically we can say, well, we can make some time during the day to make some tantra and yoga movements, and we can eat very healthy, and we can be connected with our bodies, and that's a theory. But then comes 7 to 5 jobs and a lot of debts to pay, and children crying in the room, and then life gets in the middle, and it's impossible. Like it's not like a switch that you can turn on and off. So it's normal for people to sometimes numb themselves, because otherwise, can we deal with everyday life?
Totally. Yeah. So there's something called maladaptive coping strategies, and then there's what's called adaptive coping strategies, or, in my words, could be unhealthy coping strategies and healthy ones. It sounds like you're making the case that life happens, which it absolutely does, right? Kids, bills, school, education, weather, all this stuff happens in life. And it sounds like what you're offering, you didn't use these words, so tell me where I'm misrepresenting. But if and when all of those things happen, the general I would then have license to go use another person's body by way of watching pornography and masturbating in order to cope with all of those feelings. What I would offer to you is that is one way to deal with those feelings. However, in my orientation, there's better ways to do that.
Yeah, I know, but I wouldn't speak in absolutes. Absolutely not, because not everything is good or bad. I'm just saying it's just one.
Some things are. Some things are absolutely good or bad.
I know. I agree. But I also see reality. I totally agree with you. But I don't want to fall into... I prefer to see a scale of grace. Like,
yeah,
not white or black.
I got it. Yeah, live in the nuance of it, for sure. So here's a question.
Like, where are we? Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Like,
go ahead.
No, say.
Well, where does pornography fit into that, right? If we view pornography as something that is dehumanizing to the person on the screen, right? We're reducing them down to an object for our sexual pleasure and consuming them, as opposed to viewing them as a fully dignified human being. I think that would err more on not being acceptable. For example, most people, you probably would agree with this, like, you probably wouldn't just walk up to a stranger and start masturbating at them, right? Like, that would generally, in most cultures, probably be something that would be looked down upon, right? So then the question is, why in the comfort of your home or in private would that then be okay?
I completely agree with you. I have nothing to say against that.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
All right.
And I really hope, to say the truth, I would love to know that these sites would stop existing.
Yeah.
It would be better for everyone.
Yeah, totally.
Because
well, you know how that happens is we take a stand against it. And we do that on both sides by reducing the supply and the demand. And how can we reduce the demand? We stop using it. We come to the understanding that this is not healthy for me or the people on the screen, so I'm going to take a stand against that. And with no demand, there's no supply.
Okay, so I want to ask a question. Based on statistics, and before anything, I want to say that I completely agree with you. But I really want to ask, based on statistics, until what point we can become over controlling towards society, and we could even fall on the paper of moralizing others or acting as a tyrant. Because like when we see these new wave movements, it's just an example, like these new wave movements where everything is about light and organic food, and I'm just putting them in a box, and I know, but sometimes a lot of tyranny is in that in those interactions, because a big sense of morality can create division. So how can we avoid falling into division based on the fact that we have this reality where a vast majority of men and women too use these pages? Like, how can we avoid ourselves? Like for me, it's in my case, it that also happened with drugs. You know, I come from Mexico. I'm Mexican. I don't live in Mexico. I live in Europe now. I've never tasted anything, but I come to Europe and then I see that in parties, people that are friends, about 80% of them consume at the moment or have consumed. That's reality in here. Yeah. That's reality also in the USA. So how can I avoid myself from not moralizing or dividing or compartmentalizing? They would tell me, go mind your own business. And I'm not sure until what point they will tell me they're right or wrong. Yeah. I'm just trying to find the middle point.
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
No, and there's no middle point. I agree with you. There's no middle point. It should be completely banned. But how can we avoid ourselves from being tyrants or judging others? Yeah. Because I have fallen in that before. I have fallen, and that's
totally. Well, I would ask you this. Based on this 20-minute conversation, what conversation might you be inspired to have with your partner?
So I would go like, let's try to focus or leave our intimacy close between you and me.
Yeah, all right, great. So, or in different words, hey, let's not use pornography. Let's just make it between me and you. Let me ask you this. Have you experienced me being tyrannical with you here?
No, of course not. Absolutely not.
So I would say that's how, is we have conversations that are curious with one another, gracious, kind with one another, drawing people into a greater experience of humanity, fueled by love.
Okay.
That approach works, in my experience. Tyranny.
Can you say the last sentence, please?
Can I say it again?
Yeah, fueled by love.
Fueled by love, yeah.
Okay.
It brings us into a greater experience of humanity based on love. Yeah, fueled by love. Something like that. And how do we do that? I mean,
like that.
Yeah, I don't know what I said. Go on YouTube and rewind it back.
No, it's great. It's greater experience of humanity fueled by love. That's really beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, so tyranny doesn't work. It never does. And so you had a little bit of a resigned orientation to pornography, whereas I think you would actually believe like, this is wrong. This is not good for anybody. And a few minutes later, you're like, oh no, yeah, absolutely, we should be standing against this, right? I'm paraphrasing what I'm experiencing from you.
Yeah, so because I'm open, of course.
Yeah. Now, if we resign ourselves to thinking, oh no, it's never going to change, tyranny could win.
Okay.
Right? So the question is, how will you participate? And I'm not suggesting you need to do what I do, right? But
I think what you do is very valuable. Okay.
Yeah. Don't underestimate the power of your voice, of one voice.
Okay. So here I would say, and this is something very important that I want to say, that many times the statistics, even if they are so big, more than taking care of what lives, how the world has changed, we must be taking care that what exists does not change us. So maybe for one person, we're not going to make a difference, but if we take care of reality not changing us, maybe that's all we need to do in the end.
Yeah, I mean, how did Mother Teresa change the world? One person at a time. That's it. Right? So, All right. Hey, nice
Okay.
talking to you. I'm going to move on to the next guest.
Thank you.
But yeah, appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Adios.
Adios.
All right. W's in the chat for our guest. That was our first guest. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you again. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. And here we are. Hey there, Stumps. How's it going?
Sir?
I'm doing good. Are you 18 or over?
Going good. How are you? Yes, sir.
All right. Is porn cheating?
I don't believe it's cheating. However, I do believe it definitely rewires the men's brain, especially in their younger years, on intimacy, connection with women in general. I definitely do think it affects the in the area of men's brains where it's able to build that connection with a woman. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Where'd you get that opinion?
I myself was addicted to pornography in my younger years, starting at age 14. I am now 21. I am 3 years free of pornography, and I am now an advocate to help people not engage in pornography or start pornography.
Good for you, man. I love that. Well
Yes,
done.
sir. Thank you.
Yeah, well done. Why did you decide to make that change when you were 18 years old?
Well, when I was younger, I just thought of it as a pleasure mechanism, right? You know, we're men, we start to feel that desire, and we either push it away and kind of, think of other things, or we just attack that with, and, the first thing is pornography. So I made that change at 18 because I was realizing as I was kind of maturing that I haven't really had a really deep emotional connection with a woman before. And that stemmed to how I viewed intimacy with the woman. Because of pornography, I just viewed it as a way to pleasure myself and not pleasure the woman or build a connection with the woman. It just, made me think of, oh, this is all about me and my feelings. So
Yeah, totally. Good for you, man. Yeah. Okay, how do you speak out? You said you kind of speak out against it as well. How do you do that?
Well, people, I have friends that have engaged in pornography and still continue to watch pornography. And I ask them, why is it that you watch it? Just to get other, people's opinions. I know why I watched it, but I just like to ask, why other people watch it, just so I can get different points of views.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them just say, well, it's easy, right? It's an addiction. It's an easy way to pleasure yourself, easy way to kind of get off. Are the main things I get from people watching it. Especially men that have wives or girlfriends that watch pornography. I definitely do think that is an issue, because it kind of stops, that connection that you build with a woman, at least in the intimacy part. Because if you're just kind of stepping off, going to the bathroom or whatever, then that's not, helping build the connection with your woman.
Yeah. So a little thought experiment that I like using is, what would be required of you to go have the experience that you're having in pornography? So to go have the pornographic encounter using porn, all you need to do is click a button, right? Tap a screen, and there you go. You get to have that experience.
Right.
Now, what would be required of you to go have that experience with a woman in real life?
Oh, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
What are you in the drive-thru or something, man?
Oh, no, sorry. I was approached by somebody. Can you repeat that question? My apologies.
Ask him what he thinks about porn.
Oh, the gentleman already walked away from me. I'm sorry.
Oh, dang it. Okay. What would be required of you or a person in order to create the experience that you're trying to have in pornography, which is a connection with another person? What would you have to do?
I believe conversations, nothing gets people closer than talking about feelings, talking about, the thoughts that we are either too scared to show or, too worried that we're going to be judged or something. For example, I'll give an example. I have a girlfriend. I've been with her for 2.5 years. In our very early stages of our relationship, I explained to her my addiction that was pornography and how I viewed it and how I was able to get over it. And she praised me. She was an amazing woman. So I'm thankful for her for that. She kind of shared with me too about her view of men who watch it. And she just, her point of view was, yeah, men who watch porn, they don't have the ability or the strength to kind of approach a woman and try to build that connection, because it's so easy just to go to a site and, you know, get that fix.
Yeah. So there's a difference in how, at least for her, from her perspective, men who would approach a woman in real life would behave compared to what is required of them in order to engage in pornography.
Right.
Yeah. Got it. What else you want to share, man? Why'd you want to come up here?
Well, I wanted to come up here. I want to be one of the men that agree that porn is an issue and it shouldn't be here. And lucky enough, actually, in my state where I live, they actually made it not harder, but at least a step difficult to engage in the site. You now actually have to either take a picture of your ID and take a picture of yourself in order to watch any of the videos on these sites. So I'm at least happy they do that. They're moving in the right direction. I just think it would be easier if they just closed all the sites, but I just think there's too much money being made in that area. I don't think they'll do that for some time.
Yeah, totally. What would you say to other men around your age, around 21 years old, who are watching pornography and may not think it's a problem?
Stop. I would say just to stop. Challenge yourself. Go a month without watching it. See how you handle, that ability. Because I'm a man too. Even now that I don't watch it, I'll randomly in the day, especially because I'm young, I'll get that urge, I'll get that feeling, and I just tell myself, okay, look, I have my woman at home. I don't need to go on this site. I want to show that to men too. You don't have to go to a site and get what you need. You can help build a connection, and the reward from the connection is much better than the clarity that we get from pornography.
That's good, man. That's good. Love that. Go spread that word with your peers, man. The world needs it.
Yes, sir, will do. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But I appreciate you coming up here. I don't want to take too much time. I'll let other people share, but I appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for sharing. See ya.
No problem.
W's in the chat for that guy, for our guest. By the way, my name is Austin Hamilton, also known as the Porn Coach. I do one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching, both for men struggling with unwanted sexual behavior as well as women who are experiencing partner betrayal trauma. If you are sick of being in a relationship with a man who watches porn and you think he can't stop or won't stop, I've got a place for you to come and heal together in community. And if you are stuck watching pornography and you're thinking, what is wrong with me? I just want to say there's nothing wrong with you. Something happened earlier in your life where pornography was a tool that you used to escape what was going on inside, and now it's become a habit. And you can absolutely overcome the pornography trap. I've walked hundreds of people and couples through this. There's hope for you. So, links in my bio if you want information about that. Let's bring on another guest, Danielle. How are you doing? Church is in session. Okay. Can I message you, please? This is a big issue because he's in and out. You can message me, but I'm not gonna message you. I'm busy right now. Hey there, what's going on?
Hey.
Carrie Robichaux, good to see you. What's that, Lily?
You said Danielle, but I was Lily, so I just want to know.
Oh
if
yeah,
you click
yeah.
on
No,
this
there.
person.
It was Danielle, another person. I was just saying hi to her because she just got on here. But
Oh, okay.
I'm talking
I just
to you,
wanted to
Lily.
make sure you clicked on the right person.
Yeah, I got you. Are you 18 or over?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Is porn cheating?
Yes, 100%.
100%. Yes. Okay. Why is that?
100%. Well, first I wanted to say that I've been through it with my husband. 2 years ago, year and a half ago, everything came to light. From 8 years of marriage, found out he was lying and all this other stuff. And I consider it cheating. I made that very clear on day 3 of us dating because I noticed it in his phone. He left his phone open. And when I went to hand it to him, it was a porn site open on his phone. And I was like, oh, hey, I think this is gross. This is cheating. If this is something you don't want to be, like, if it's a deal breaker for you, that's cool. We've only been together for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Very clear about it.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I wanted to say is a lot of your videos helped me get through some stuff because I had never thought, I always thought it was cheating, but I never realized how deeply it could hurt you because you have to think this person and then they're keeping this secret from you and essentially I know it's people online, but essentially they it's not connection. Connection's not the word I'm looking for, but they're lusting and getting
No,
off
it's not
after another
connection. For sure, it's
person.
not connection.
No, I know that's not the
Yeah.
word I'm looking for. They have something and they're getting off to like another person online, and it's taking away the intimacy from you and your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're lying about it, and like it does change the way they act in the bedroom. At 100, I noticed once like everything came to light and puzzle pieces started going back in my head, I started like asking him questions, and I was like, you have no choice, but you have to be full blunt and honest with me, or like this isn't gonna work. And going back and thinking about it, there were times where he would get a little more rough, and now I'm sitting here thinking like he was probably watching porn and then going off of what he saw, and they bring that into the bedroom, and like that fucks everything up. Sorry, my language. That screws everything up and can make it worse for you. And then the amount of mental and emotional stress and like PTSD it can put on a woman, and like I was messed up for like a full year just going through, I'm not good enough. I lost 94 pounds, dyed my hair, and almost got a boob job because I wanted to look like the women he was watching on TV or watching on his computer screen, you know? Like it really does something to your psyche. And I don't understand how women, specifically women, can turn around and be like, it's not cheating, it's not cheating, it's normal, it's normal. When it, like, if you really think about it, on a real level, it's gross to watch. Like, oh, you can say they're being trafficked. Even the women that aren't being trafficked in porn, the actual porn stars who sign up for it, if you think about it when you're watching it, like it's gross. I don't even really know any other way to explain it. But
Yeah.
I 100% agree that it's cheating.
I got it. I hear the passion in your voice as well. You said you've been
Sorry.
with that person for 8 years. Are you guys still together?
Yes, we're still together. He's doing individual therapy. I'm in individual therapy. We're in couples therapy. It's like a whole thing. He's doing it. He hasn't in about 9 months. I want to say it's been about 9 months. He had one slip up, but it wasn't porn. It was like looking at girls on YouTube. The closest thing you could get from YouTube.
It wasn't porn, but it was porn adjacent. All right. Great job for both of you for actually getting into, sounds like some good healing work for your relationship. What's that been like for you? Yeah.
It's been a roller coaster of emotions. I've had up, down. I've had times where I just like can't stand this person next to me because you betrayed my trust. So let's take like the whole porn aspect out of it and looking at other women. You lied and you betrayed my trust when you knew that this was something I was not okay with. So you went into doing it every time, knowing in your head, my wife is not okay with this, and if she found out about it, it would hurt her, and you still did it. And so that really messed with me because trust is like a big thing. My dad always told me, like, it doesn't matter what you do, just don't lie to me. Like, I'll help you drag your body across the floor if you need to, just don't lie to me. So like I grew up trust being a very big thing, and I made him aware of that. So like I went back, and with the whole trust, I didn't know who my husband was. All these memories I had of who this person was, he's no longer this person that I thought he was. Does that make sense? That's 100%. Something I've been working on with myself. I don't know if it makes sense or not.
No, it absolutely does. I mean, that's the deceit of the betrayal, right? Is you then have to go question the whole history of your relationship and how you even relate to trust. Because 3 days in, you found this out. And then for 7 or 8 years, you lived a different reality, and that takes a long time to unwind.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I just wanted to come on and say I agree, and that you and a bunch of your videos have actually helped me a lot. I don't know if they've helped him. I've sent them to him. Whether or not he watched them is a different story, but you and then there's a couple other people on TikTok, believe it or not, that have been very helpful.
I believe it.
Getting me through this. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah.
And
well, thank you for
sharing. I
sharing.
won't take up too much time.
Yeah, I'm glad you're getting help.
All right. Well, I hope you guys have a good day.
All right, you too. Take care. Bye-bye. W's in the chat for our guest. I love that, and I hate that, because, they're getting help, and it's really painful what she's going through. That is partner betrayal trauma in action. The trauma that a partner experiences when they discover a betrayal. Why do they call it partner betrayal trauma? I didn't make that word up. It's a clinical word, and they've actually studied that partner betrayal trauma feels essentially the same as PTSD. It feels essentially the same as PTSD, and what the data indicates is that partners going through partner betrayal trauma show all the same symptoms with somebody coming back from war, for example, with the exception of physical injury. Other than that, the similarities are striking. So consider that. All right, let's bring another guest on. Blue, come on and chat, man. I'd love to chat. Another guy named Johnny.
Yo, how you doing, sir?
Hey, man, good. How are you?
Good. How's your day
Good.
going?
My day's going well, thanks. Are you 18 or over?
Yeah, I'm 18.
Okay. How's your day going?
My day is going okay. It's
Good.
kind of cold where I'm from. We got like 10 inches of snow. Couple
Dang,
days
bro.
ago.
Where do you live?
New Jersey.
Bro, I was in Boston over the weekend and I got trapped
Yes.
for 2 days because of the storm.
Oh, yeah, it was bad.
It was bad. Very bad.
Yeah.
All right,
So-
man. Is porn
so-
cheating?
So I think it's kind of difficult, and as we go on in this conversation, some kind of questions are difficult for me to give you an answer, because sometimes I find like simple questions that require like binary answers are actually more complex than we actually realize.
Totally.
Is
This
it
is just a
cheating?
conversation starter, so take it wherever
Right.
you want.
Right. So if is it cheating? I think that goes down to the individual standards. I don't have a standard yet for it being cheating, but I do think it's not good. It's not good for the human brain. It's not good for how we're supposed to be as human beings. I don't think it's good. That I can answer for certain.
Okay. Got it. So you don't think it's
So-
good. You're clear on that. Okay.
Yes, I don't think it's good. That I'm clear with.
Okay.
But it's kind of very complex when you start analyzing like the modern relationship status, right? It's simple, like kind of, I would say to some degree, it kind of is human evolution. I'm not condoning it, but you can kind of see the justification of it. If you live for example, I'll take the Western part, like America, London, whatever, in this part of the West part of the world, the relationship status is kind of crazy. It's kind of bad. It's kind of for the average guy. So knowing this, you can kind of see why somebody can eventually find that as a resolution.
What
But
do
I
you
would
mean the
say if-
relationship standard is bad for the average guy? What do you mean by that?
The relationship status, like the way the dynamics works, the average, I'm more of a, I don't want to come off as being a misogynist, but I see like it's kind of the pedestal of the two genders in the way we are as a relationship in the Western part of the world. It's kind of messed for the average guy. The average guy usually gets wrecked. So you find like either in less relationships. So somebody kind of goes to that as a way of necessity.
Okay.
But I would say if somebody's in a relationship, no, you have no reason. You have no reason. I would say, like, as a human being, some decisions you have to make as a sacrifice. Even if you think, oh, what you're gonna do when you wank, you're gonna feel good. I think as a guy, mostly because this is the problem with guys, I would say as a guy you need to just be strong enough and ignore some of your human urges. You know what I mean? Like when you get mad at somebody, yeah, you want to punch him, but like you gotta be cordial, you gotta be a man, you gotta live by your standards. Some things you gotta choose not to act on. So if you're in a relationship, I don't think there's any justification for that. But I'm looking at the average guy who's probably not in a relationship, and it's kind of difficult for me to be harsh on that type of individual.
Got it. Okay. Do you watch pornography?
I used to every now and then.
Okay. But not anymore?
Yeah. I tried to stop it as the New Year's. It's been like rare.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
not a often like occurrence.
Yeah. All right. So you're describing kind of this more traditional relationship dynamic, and it sounds like you've kind of lost hope in at least parts of that being a reality, at least for you, based on where our culture is currently.
Yes.
Okay. What specifically, like, have you lost hope in?
For example, if I see like the average relationship that I see people get in, and I pay close attention to how it goes. Maybe I can be coming off from a wrong point of view, but I get to see like a pattern where like usually it goes on to the girls mostly, and I think I wouldn't blame him either. But I'm just going based on
What's
what
the
I see
pattern that
nowadays.
you see?
I see there's not too much loyalty for the average guy who's probably average. The girl usually in most of the relationships I see either ends up cheating, ends up losing interest to the guy because the guy could be average, and then you almost ask yourself, right, if you're gonna dedicate yourself in your life or in a relationship, just for you, or even for the marriages, like for example, the marriages in America is ridiculous. Like when somebody gets divorced, how bad it is for the guy. I think that's normal. That's a normal thing I got to see. That is ridiculous. And when you see stuff like that, it kind of makes you lose hope. I think marriage is one of the, it's beautiful. It's what we were meant to be. We're meant to have kids. We're meant to marry. I believe in a monogamous relationship, and I believe every single person. Not to be too strict, but I believe every single guy, every single person should only be in one relationship and sleep with one partner, only for the whole lives.
Okay.
That's what I truly believe.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's good at all. I just sometimes when you get to understand from the person from the other point of view, you kind of start to sympathize when you get to see all of this.
Yeah. All right. What would be in order to have the relationship you want, what would be required from you?
For me specifically?
Yeah, like who do you need to become to have the relationship you want?
I want to be financially capable for my family, for my wife, for my kids, to give them a good life, and to understand myself to the degree that I can be able to not like fix my traumas and stuff like that, like grow as an individual, understand who I am as an individual, so that I don't bring too much problems that usually arises from people who haven't analyzed themselves. And yeah, just being financially free, becoming as strong as I can, both physically and mentally, and try to work on the problems and the struggles that I face as an individual. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So be financially healthy, emotionally healthy, relationally healthy.
Yes.
Those sound like great things.
Yes. And but it's just like, I think the solution, I think it's only gonna get worse. I think that's what I'm seeing. It's not gonna get good at all. I don't see it getting any better. I think the relationship status is only gonna get worse unless you end up maybe getting to a relationship with somebody away from the West. I do believe there's a couple people though. I'm not saying not everybody, of course. I'm just going in general terms.
Where are you from? I know you said you're in
I'm
New
from
Jersey.
Kenya.
Okay.
Originally I'm from Kenya.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, I do believe there's exceptions. Of course, there's exceptions. There's decent people in America. I'm not saying that, but I'm just going on what I see generally most of the time.
Yeah.
And
so you're not too impressed with the status of how relationships go, at least the way you've seen them here in the U.S.
Yes, it's ridiculous, and I think it's sad.
Anybody in the chat want to disagree with him and his opinion? I think there may be some overgeneralization there, but I would generally agree with the heart of what you're saying.
Right. Like, of course, I do believe there's good people. I believe there's genuine people. I'm not saying there isn't.
Yeah.
But when you get to compare the two parts of the world and see how people are, and it goes down to very different dynamics. Like you see, it's as little as seeing the average neighbor that you're going to probably have in America, and you see how people are treated in other parts of the world. For example, I'm from Kenya, so I can tell the difference easily compared to somebody who's either always been in Kenya or always been in America.
Yeah.
My neighbors used to, like, they'll close your door, they'll care for you. It goes down to that dynamic. So you see people are genuine and they'll care and they'll do things for you. Here it's completely opposite, and people don't see it because they're born here. And I that's why I always say I'm not gonna be too harsh on them. I try to treat every single person as nice, as genuine as I can. I try to maintain all that, because when you see the dynamics, you kind of cannot blame that person either. You cannot blame somebody who's from here and became like here. You know what I mean? You can't. That's how it's just gonna be. But when you get to compare the two and analyze this without any emotions, you'll get to see that I believe most of the problems, now I'm getting, I'm getting political here. I believe most of the problems in the West go down to the relationship dynamics, whether it's from the people, whether it's from the violence, crimes, promiscuity. All of that goes down to the simple, basic dynamic of how a relationship should work, that it's not working. And this started changing, and as I've read the history in America, when I don't think women should not be able to work, not be able to vote, but there's kind of a pattern that eventually followed when that dynamic switched from a masculine society to now overly feminized society, and that's where I think it slowly tipped to become the other way. I'm not saying I'm not.
Well, yeah,
But-
this is way more complex than just talking about pornography, right? It's your
Right,
it's your
that's the thing. It's good.
lived
Sorry to
experience
interrupt you.
of your home country versus what you've experienced here in the U.S. in the West, and how that all
And I
kind
believe
of
it's connected. I
Yeah,
believe all of the
yeah.
problems with pornography are connected. That's why I try to not leave these important details. So it's not as simple as the in an aspect of itself. I do believe it's not a good action. I believe one of the most important things of a human being is the confidence, and I do believe that kind of goes away when you wanking too much. And I believe without confidence as a human being, you'll never get to see your true potential. You never get to understand who you are. I believe confidence is a very important aspect of the human being, and the
Yeah.
human being body and the human being brain. So I believe it makes you less understand who you are and what you're meant to be. So I do not condone it. But when you see how much it's connected to other factors, it's kind of very either too harsh to fixate on the problem in and of itself, ignoring the other things that adds on to it.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thanks for sharing.
Thank you so much, man. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
W's in the chat for a guest. Give me a follow if you guys don't follow me already. Follow button's up there somewhere. Also, if you want to connect with me, there's a little yellow arrow somewhere down there where you can fill out a form. Be happy to connect. Hear your story, not online, and tell you about the coaching that I offer if you want to heal your relationship and or stop watching pornography. If you don't want those things, don't reach out to me. But if you do want to heal your relationship and move on through the betrayal or through your unwanted sexual behavior, reach out. I'm going to read a little excerpt from the book, The Betrayal Bind by Michelle Mays. I'll take a guest here in just a second. She's talking about when you've been betrayed, the shame intensifiers, the things that intensify shame for the betrayed partner. As a culture, how we live with within our relationships and what we believe about our relationships is incongruent with how our bodily-based attachment systems function. We treat our attachments as much more optional than they really are at the level of our basic biology. Our current cultural belief is that if your relationship isn't working for you and isn't healthy for you, you should leave it. Whether that is a relationship with your parents, best friend, family, or partner, we treat our attachments cavalierly. We do not respect the deep intertwining in our connection to significant people in our lives. We act as though leaving is much easier and much less costly than it is. But as anyone who has gone through a divorce can tell you, it's a bit like losing a limb. It feels like being emotionally and relationally torn in two, and it takes serious time to work and heal. Part of the attachment shame that betrayed partners experience comes from living within a culture that denies the significance of their attachments and the level of negative impact that results from severing them. Partners who leave their relationships are encouraged by friends and family to get out of there and start looking for a new partner before they have even filed divorce paperwork. Space to process what has happened, to grieve and mourn the loss of someone you have lived, loved, dreamed, and perhaps parented with, is not provided or even acknowledged as something you might need. Instead, we have the idea that we get over the loss of our attachments by replacing them. Betrayed partners are pushed towards a new relationship before they can absorb or understand what the loss of their current relationship means. Betrayal Bind, fantastic book if you have been betrayed or if you want to understand better what your betrayed partner may be feeling. And by the way, this is universal. It is not men betraying women. It's also women betraying men. It goes both ways. All right, let's bring another guest on. Hey there, what's going on?
Hi. I
Are you 18 or over?
Cheating. I believe I am 35.
Okay, all right. Is porn cheating?
Yes.
Okay, why is that?
Because not only are there's a entail of always lying about it, which is betraying your partner's trust, and also on top of that, you're taking away the sexual attention that you should be giving to your partner, and you're giving it to pixels on a screen instead of having intimacy with your partner. You're deciding to just objectify somebody and use their image to relieve yourself, which shows that to me, it's like, it's a stab saying that the partner's not good enough for you and saying that you're not satisfying enough. So it's like, it hits us on a deeper emotion, and on whoever the party is that's watching it, hitting the other party a lot worse than what they even think. And then the lying and deception right above it to keep it a secret makes it worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you experienced this before?
Several times.
What was that like for you?
Heart-wrenching, and like I said, it made me feel like something was wrong with me, that I wasn't pleasuring them enough, that I wasn't taking, and something was wrong where I wasn't taking in actually good enough for them, and they didn't find me attractive, they didn't find me pleasuring, and it's like it put me in a downward spiral completely, that took and messed with my self-confidence and my self-esteem completely.
Sorry to hear that.
And when I tried to explain to them about it and how it was making me feel, they just told me that I was being dramatic and that I was thinking too much into it, that it's nothing, just them just getting released. And it's like, no, there's a lot more into it. I mean, I couldn't get anybody to understand it, and I kept being told that it's normal. You're the one being weird. You're the one that, guys do it. It's not all guys. And your videos actually helped me realize that not all men actually do it, and a lot are actually against it. And it's like, why couldn't I have seen this earlier, and know that it's not a normal thing that all guys do.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was outcasted. Like I was in the wrong for thinking against it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. When were you first confronted with this to where you formed that belief, or that belief was formed in you that you just had to tolerate this, essentially?
When it was actually put on me back when I was about, I want to say about 17, 18.
Mm-hmm. What happened
when
there?
I was 18 years old, and unfortunately I became pregnant at a young age and got married to the father at 17. And when he would relieve himself while I was taking and tending to the baby or something, it just, it struck me. I was like, that to me, this is a betrayal. He's like, it's not a betrayal. It's normal. And you're busy. So I figured I'd just get up I'm like, but you and I were and because the baby started crying, I had to go take care of him. So we had to pause, and you decided to finish yourself off anyways, leaving me hanging. That's just messed up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How long did that go on for?
Well, my ex-husband and I separated not long after that. We were kind of pushed into the marriage because of the accidental pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I had several relationships where they thought that it was okay to take and, keep going with doing that kind of thing. And even after I explained to him in the beginning of our relationship that I'm not okay with it, that it affects me in a negative way, that if you want a relationship with me, that's something that I cannot tolerate or deal with. It really messes with me emotionally, they tell me, "Oh, well, don't worry, I'm not into that," or "I have no problem giving that up for you," and then turn around and try to hide it and sneak it anyways, and then deceive me about it. And it's like, that just caused a lot more trust issues now. Because not only did you say it, you gave me your word you weren't going to do it, you declared you care more about me than you do that. Now it's like you lied about all that. So where's your actual emotions lie?
Yeah, so that happened to you multiple times with multiple relationships?
In every relationship I've been in.
And every relationship you've been in. All right.
Yeah.
That first time it happened, where you did say something, but it essentially fell on deaf ears. What do you think the belief was that you formed about your ability to take a stand against something that you see that is not right in a relationship?
I thought I was the only one that didn't think it was okay. I legitimately got the fact of I was weird. Something was wrong with me mentally to where I'm the only one against it. Including even my own father told me, "Oh, it's normal for guys to watch it." So it's like my own parents telling me I'm being weird, that I'm just the outcast of everybody, that nobody else thinks like me, that I was just the outsider looking in.
So you formed a belief that there's something wrong with you, that you're weird because you tried to take a stand against this, and your husband or partner at the time and your parents were telling you, like, no, this is normal. And
Well, my mom went against it, but my father was the one drilling in my head that it's normal. My mother's even against it until it got on my side, but it was like me and my mom the only ones thinking that way. Like we were not educated enough, I guess, or something, because we thought it was wrong and that it was neglect and things, but that was it. Just me and her against the world.
Yeah, and what was that like for you to be in that spot where it felt like you and your mom and potentially your child against the world?
That made me feel like I was legitimately just programmed wrong. Like I had the wrong way of thinking, that I was just legitimately that there was something mentally wrong with me. It had to be. That's
the conclusion that you made, was that there has to be something wrong with me because other people don't see it that way, and you didn't see another way to get out of that. All right.
Yeah.
So here you are. How do you approach this topic now in your life?
Well, when it comes down to right now, unfortunately, I am single, but when it comes down to it, I directly state in the beginning that when I'm like dating after all that, when I get talking with them and we decide to meet in person, I let them know that to be straight front and forward. That kind of porn is not something I can deal with. I don't know how you see it, if you're okay with it, if you're not okay with it, but in my point of view, I believe it's wrong. Or I ask them how much porn is too much porn, how much watching, so I can get an idea of what their idea of it is, and then go from there. And if they are frequent watchers of it, I said, yeah, I will continue to date, let them know that it's not going to be something that would be, unless you're willing to take a stand with me against it. I don't see this actually going to be working out, but you're a great guy. Just your use of that is not something that I can deal with, but maybe you can find somebody else who is okay with it, but I'm not.
So you're now prepared to have the conversation with a prospective partner early and draw a clear boundary and state where you are at with it. And then, most importantly, you got to hold up your end of the bargain. That if that's what your stated boundary is, you got to hold your side of it. And
oh yeah, I've been.
Yeah.
That's why I'm single now.
Yeah. Well, good for you.
And my ex actually told me that I was in the wrong, that it's normal, it's natural. And then I sent him a link to one of your videos. And I told him, follow him and watch his videos. He is a man that takes things against it too. So you can't keep telling me there is no man out there that doesn't watch it. Because there clearly are. And
There clearly are. We all get together on Tuesday nights and Wednesday afternoons. Join one of my groups if you want to break free from pornography.
Yep, I sent him a link to your video and told him, please follow. And he actually has been following your page since and has been trying to better himself since then. But unfortunately, the damage has been done to where even though he's trying, it's like, I don't know if I can trust you. You lied so many times, covered it. I can't see us actually working together, but I'm glad you are taking a stance for yourself and trying to get help.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good for you for taking a stand for yourself and unwinding some of the things that you learned when you were young to take a stand for yourself and your relationships. Well done. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for sharing.
And thank you for allowing me to.
Yeah. All right. Take care.
Take care, sir.
Bye-bye. W's in the chat. Hey, here's Johnny. You want to come on and chat? Bro? You want to come on and chat? I'll even invite you. Make it easy. There you go. All you got to do is hit accept. Carrie, did you actually want to come on? You're in the request queue. Carrie Robichaux. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. All right. Carrie, I'm going to let you, I didn't see you answer me, but I also stepped away. So if you don't want to chat, that's fine. Give me a follow down below if you want to chat. Or, I'm sorry, if you like my content. If not, follow me anyways and come back and argue with the people in my comments sometime. Hi, Carrie.
Hey, how
How are you? I'm good, thank you.
Great.
Good to see you.
Yeah, so good to see you too.
Yeah.
So,
Are you 18 or over?
oh, absolutely. I'm not gonna tell you how old I am.
For the record, I know. So what's going on?
Nothing. I guess I just wanted to come in and just say hey, and if there's any women who are dealing with betrayal from porn addiction, I just wanted to promote your group because honestly, it didn't save my marriage, but it gave me the courage to do what I needed to do for me. Because it was the hardest thing I had to do ever in my life was to leave my marriage. And I would not have been able to make those steps without being in your group. And that's 100% honest.
Yeah.
I think it could save some, but others, we really just need to get out.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. And the intention of my groups is not to save marriages, though if marriages are saved, we love that. And that does happen. But you know, would you just tell everyone, where were you at the point when you found my group and decided to join?
I don't know if you remember our first initial phone chat, you and I, but I was probably the worst place in my life. I felt like I lost everything. I was in a I was been with the same man for 32 years. I mean, 50 years old. I'm supposed to be in the golden years, you know, of my marriage. And I find out that he's addicted to porn my entire marriage. So, and, you know, I found out other stuff, and the cheating that came because just so much going on. But I was just in the most devastated place of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was desperate. I was desperate for, I couldn't even process what was going on. I thought I was gonna die where I was.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, I do remember, Carrie, talking to you early on. And I love that you're coming back on here and sharing what that was like for you. What was it like for you as you began getting more comfortable working through what you were going through?
It was hard, absolutely. Healing is hard. It's painful. You go through anger. You go through so much. I thank God that I had the opportunity to also get away in that time. You remember, like, I moved a couple of states over, and just to kind of get some time alone and process and heal. But the group kind of helped me be able to process. And then, you know, as a woman, when you so betrayed by the person who's supposed to love you the most, and then you realize that you just got comfortable living a life of not even getting your basic needs met. Like, you almost worthless without really knowing that you have no worth. Like, you know, and your group just kind of I was able to see inside of what probably like mirrored what other people would have seen in me that I couldn't see in myself. Because in your group, it was all these beautiful, amazing women full of worth that were so broken because of someone else and the betrayal. And it just made me say, man, if this is what I see these women are, then I must have that also inside of me. And that's what really helped me, because to see that I must be the same as them, and other people are looking at me, I can't see that in myself. So I think that's really where, and then some of the women were so stuck that they couldn't get out of where they were, and it broke my heart. But I decided I'm not gonna be that woman. And I made a decision that I had to get out of it. So that's basically
So it helped you kind of see what the experience you were going through, helped see it in other people, which helped bring new awareness to yourself, as well as see the parts of you and other people to where you're like, okay, I really gotta dig deep and work on this, because I don't want to keep sliding down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was just I'm gonna tell you this, Austin, and look, we had great therapists. Like, we had an amazing therapist, and the thing is, he just was not, I think he was going through the motions, but he wasn't digging deep. Okay. He wasn't digging deep like I was digging deep. And then there was other circumstances that was never going to change anyway. But I got more out of our weekly groups than I did in therapy. When I can look back and say truly what helped me the most in that journey, that part of my life, that season, it was your group with the other women.
All right. Am I paying you to say this right now, Carrie?
Absolutely not.
No, I didn't even know she was going to come on here.
No, I know, but I truly, I mean, and I tell everybody that, and you know, I'm a hairdresser, so I have tons of women in my chair all the time, and you would not believe how many women are secretly suffering
Yeah.
the same way, and how many women now that I can pour into, and I always tell everybody about your group,
Mhm.
but I don't feel like, you know, people are kind of scared to put themselves into, but I think it's great too, because it's not like you're sitting in your own town and you have all these people that you see on a daily basis. So like in the group, there was nobody, I don't even think there was anyone in my state that was in the group, you know? So that helps and it made it
Mhm.
easier. But there was so much that I learned from you guys that I have so many women that call me all the time and they're like, thank you for sharing what you
Mm.
went through, because you helped me so much more than you will ever know.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's beautiful. Um, yeah, and I'm sorry that your marriage didn't work out. And knowing your situation and everything going on, I am so proud of you for finding your voice and speaking your voice and changing your circumstance. Now that's different for
Thank
everybody,
you.
right? But you had to
Yes,
dig deep
yes.
and find that confidence and take many courageous steps forward to continue or to change the path of your life based on what you were confronted with after 32 years of marriage. And that is hard. So great
Yeah.
job. Great job.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So Carrie was in my group for around a year and a half or so. And
Mhm.
I appreciate you coming back on, Carrie, and I love seeing your name pop up here and there. And I would just like to say, I have groups both for men and women going through this, and I have no agenda for you, for anybody who may want to join a group. I have a bias towards healthy, healed relationships. I'll be clear about that, but that's not everybody's situation. But being in a community where you can heal together is vitally important, because healing doesn't occur until it's witnessed empathetically. And many people have told me that, Carrie, that they've been in therapy for months or years, and being in the group. And I know I'm talking about my group right now. This is more about my belief that the group setting can be a very powerful healing tool. And I think my groups are amazing. But being in that place where you can experience healing in community is vitally important.
Yes. Absolutely.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
else?
Thank you for having me on.
Anything else?
Just tell all those ladies, the ones, especially if you have any of the ladies that are still there that I was in that group with, just tell them I said, hey, and I'm doing great and I'm happy and I'm in a relationship with an
Look at you.
amazing man. And yeah.
Does he watch porn?
No. And that was like the first question I asked him. I was
Good
like,
for you.
you're not into porn. Is there any addictions I need to know about? Because I have a list of things now. And if I couldn't, if he had said, yeah, porn, there's nothing wrong with it, I've been like, oh, okay, well, you're not the person for me.
Yeah, I love that. I certainly will tell them
Yeah.
that you said hi. And some of them, my
Yeah.
current group members, are here right now. So what you're saying certainly, I think, resonates with them. So thanks for sharing.
Thanks so much, Austin.
Yeah,
Keep doing what you do.
thank you. Appreciate it. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Somebody asked how much are the groups. The groups are $199 a month. We meet weekly on Zoom, and the women's groups are facilitated by myself and now other female contributors like Caitlin and Honest Love. If you guys don't follow her. And the men's groups are facilitated by myself and other male contributors. We meet on either Tuesday nights or Wednesday afternoons, and it's a great place to heal together in community. Look, I'm only talking about my groups so much because she brought it up. If I had $1 for every time I've heard somebody say that having an initial discovery call with me or being in one of my groups has been more helpful than months of therapy, I would have lots of dollars. Now, I'm not saying that I'm so great at this and that's why. It's the environment that is created when we can get together in each other's stories and be encouraged to move forward empathetically with hope for the future. That's the difference. So if you want to schedule a call with me, you can go to the link in my bio. It's $1 for a private 30-minute call to talk about your situation if I may be able to help. You can also, there's like a lead form, a yellow arrow down there you can fill out. But the best would be to schedule a discovery call. I'm going to answer some questions. Is a women's group mostly for betrayal trauma or for their own addiction? I would say yes, it's mostly for betrayal trauma. However, whenever we're healing through betrayal trauma, it inevitably will collide with your own sexual story. And so if there's some parts of your own addiction, we'll deal with that as well. We will deal with that as well. Has my wife forgiven me? How did she move through all that? Yeah, I think so. And she still has to forgive me because I do a lot of dumb stuff. But yes, we have done a lot of work over the years on our stories over the last 8.5, almost 9 years since D-Day, so to speak, when I devastated my wife with the news, not only that I was addicted to porn, but I had multiple affairs. And there's been a lot of healing work that's occurred, and forgiveness is a continual act. You don't just forgive once and then you're done with it. Something else will come up. Okay. Now we get to deal with that. What made me start this? Yes, I was exposed to porn at about 11, 12 years old, was addicted for 20 years, got married when I was 26 years old, had multiple physical affairs shortly thereafter, decided to stop them because I was like, well, this isn't good, logically, but then I held it in. I never told her or anyone, and that essentially killed me. And after holding that in for about 4 years, I couldn't do it anymore. I wasn't engaged in the behavior, but I was carrying around the guilt and shame of my behavior. So I confessed to my wife. You guys aren't going to like this. She was, well, I already know you don't like this, but she was 8 months pregnant, and it was the worst day of my life. And since then, we've been able to work through it and have a marriage, a relationship that I never thought we could have when we were going through this. How did she handle it? She was pissed. We'll say that. She was angry. Yeah. I mean, we had a 2-year-old. She was 8 months pregnant. She had a baby right thereafter. I mean, like one of the guests earlier, it's like your whole world is taken out from underneath you. Everything you thought to be true is no longer true. So it's devastating. Anyways, if you guys are interested, schedule a call with me using the link in my bio. You can join one of my healing groups, both for men and women if you're interested. Tuesday nights and Wednesday afternoons. 2-year-old, 8 months pregnant, I would have been like off with your head. But then the baby, yeah, totally, Ellie, totally. Totally. Is this group towards one type of porn? This is the first time I'm seeing. It's any type of porn or infidelity. It's a healing and support group for betrayed partners, women, as well as men who are wanting to break free from the trap of pornography or infidelity. Now, I talk to a lot of guys where I can tell right out of the gate when they schedule a call with me, I'm like, this guy doesn't want to be here. He has to schedule the call. If you're like, hey, I scheduled this call for you, go talk to this dude, it's not going to work. It's got to be his idea. And also, behind every man who's struggling with pornography is a story that's dying to be told. Men don't just wake up one day in their 20s or 30s when they're married and have kids and say, I'm going to start masturbating while watching strangers have sex. That'll work really well in my marriage. That'll draw me closer to my wife. That's not how it works. Something usually happened at a very young age where they were exposed to pornography and began using it as a coping mechanism to deal with the feelings going on the inside that they didn't know how to deal with. And then it became a unhealthy coping strategy that persisted into their adult life. Okay. So once you realize that, then you can do something with it. The goal is not to try to stop watching porn, though we actually really want that outcome. The goal is to learn and be curious about what's really going on the inside so that you can be with those feelings in a different way and not even want to turn back to pornography because you actually have the tools to deal with life. Porn and sex addiction is not a porn and sex problem. It's a how you deal with life problem. Pornography is masking the parts of you that you need to be curious about so that you can tackle life without having to go try to make yourself feel good with a little dopamine hit, objectifying another woman. Anyways, I could rant all day. And I will. Until I have to go. Hey there, what's going on?
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can, yeah. Have we talked before?
No, we have not. How's
Okay.
it going, man?
I'm doing good. Are you 18 or over?
You just happened to pop up on my page, and I like chatting about this stuff. My name's Ben, by the way. Nice to meet you, man.
What's up, Ben? I'm Austin. Nice to meet you. You're 18 or over?
Yeah, I'm 19.
All right, cool. Is porn cheating?
Yeah, I would have to say so, man. Through my past experiences, and where I'm at now, I would have to say it's 100% cheating, and it comes down to, the sin of lust, right? Like you're giving into this pornography over and over again, and you're not really recognizing what it's doing to your brain over time. And a lot of guys don't want to accept the fact that it's completely corrupting their, the perspective. They have perspectives that they shouldn't be having. And when you keep giving into that stuff, then you're going out in public and you're objectifying women, and you're constantly letting your, sexual thoughts carry you through the way you live your life, and you're being governed by it. It's evil, and it kind of drags you away. And once you kind of step away from that stuff, then you gain a lot of freedom, and you're able to, look at a woman in a more, loving way, the way that we are supposed to look at one another. If you're constantly objectifying women, then how are you supposed to fall in love with like another woman's soul? I mean, you should be falling in love with the things in a woman that you can't see with your eyes, right? And I feel like that's been taken away, and it's so normalized now, man. Like everybody's talking about these, one night stands and hookup cultures, but it's phony and it's not cool. There is a boundary that should be instilled within everybody's morality, where if you truly want to love somebody, then you're giving up this sexual desire that is kind of had a grip on you over time. There's no way that you can have a healthy and happy relationship with another woman if you're giving into your flesh and these sexual desires all the time. In terms of sexual intimacy, like that is supposed to be between you and your partner. And if you're going on safari and you're watching, two strangers have this intimacy together and they don't even know each other, you're giving into lust for no reason. The intimacy should be being shared between you and the one that you got on your knee for. And that's my 2 cents, man.
All right, thanks for sharing. Do you watch porn?
I do not. No, I kind of flee from that.
How long has it
over
been?
The last year.
Okay.
But it was kind of the epitome and destruction of my past relationship when I was in a different headspace at the time, and it started with pornography, and then it builds onto other things, and it changes you, and you do things that you thought you would never do. And I would never be where I'm at now if I didn't make those mistakes, and I'm forever grateful for the way that I went about those mistakes. I think everybody who makes mistakes, it's inevitable, and you got to accept the past for what it is, but you have to make an initiative to work on those things time and time again, so that stuff never happens again, so that down the road you're able to show people that you're a changed individual, and you put effort into try to transform yourself because you hated the way that you are, and you want to be better, so that the next opportunity comes your way, you're going to be able to love a woman fully with your true heart, without any of these stupid lustful actions that you were given into in the past.
Okay. How do you personally do that?
Well, so I'm a big religious guy, but I didn't come on here to spill all that stuff, but that definitely helped me. A lot of the Bible talks about, fleeing from lust entirely. They talk about how, in terms of pornography and lust and, sexual immorality, once you step into the boxing ring, you've already lost. So for people struggling with pornography, I often tell them, even though some people find it corny, is if you're struggling late at night, you know, when it's 2 a.m. and that's when you're kind of giving into it, maybe buy a regular alarm clock and leave your phone in another room so you're less tempted to go on to Safari later at night and just wake up from a generic clock. You're doing these small things over and over again so that you can avoid it as much as you can. Because the more and more that you're like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll step into these situations and surroundings and just rely on my self-control, you've already lost the battle. And that's a reality that a lot of young men got to face, is that they constantly think that with their self-control, they're going to be able to get through everything. But in fact, that's kind of where you crumble often, and you just got to flee from it entirely. So that's kind of where I've been at. You just got to make sure that everything that could possibly lead you there, you're making sure that there's no way that there's any temptation or any, you know, draw towards it. You're eliminating it and isolating completely. And that's what helped me a lot.
Yeah, I got it. How were you first exposed to pornography?
I would say probably in high school. Just like in terms of my generation, like it's just the hookup culture and just sexual intimacy in general is just so normalized and kind of just like, you know, everybody's doing it and everybody's kind of talking about women in ways that they shouldn't be, and it's normal.
How do you think we
I would
should
say-
talk about women?
I would say that there is no room for you to be talking about like woman's external features in ways that are giving off that the only, you know, desire in your head is to approach them in a sexual manner. Because once you're caught up in this pornography cycle, if you will, and you're tricking your brain so much, you only talk about woman, you know, through the lens of your like innate desire to like reproduce. I mean, that's what I've found with a lot of, you know, people that I've communicated with in the last few years. Is it's just kind of disgusting how you know, woman objectification has gotten over the course of years, and how normalized it is, where you can kind of think that you could talk about women like they're only, you know, their external figure. There's no communication about like their soul and their personality and their character and the virtues that they have. It's disgusting what society has deemed like true beauty is now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah. There's a difference between when we're engaged in pornography. This is my opinion. It's more than just my opinion, but it's dehumanizing towards the other person. It's reducing the person down to something no more than just sexual parts for my pleasure, for the viewer's pleasure. But to fully humanize somebody is to look at them for all that they are. Do people have sexual value? Sure. But people are much, much, much more than their sexual value. And if we're fully humanizing people, we would see the fullness of the person and then not want to use them as an object.
Absolutely. And if you keep giving into pornography, you would never be able to humanize your partner in the way that you just described. Because when you're constantly giving into pornography, the only mindset and the only perspectives that you have in your head is that dehumanizing manner that you just said. It's a loop, and you don't even recognize the loop that you're in until you finally free yourself from it, and you get to finally enjoy all of the amazing things that, you know, your partner has that isn't just her body.
Are you in a relationship?
No, not anymore. That was kind of the relationship. My last relationship was 4 years long, and it ended in, you know, not an amazing way. And at the center of it was honestly me just being a lustful, you know, stupid guy back then. And I didn't know all the things that I know now.
Yeah.
And that stinks. And that it definitely stings, right? Because there was definitely still love there. And it hurts that I had to give something so precious away for me to finally understand what it's like to actually love somebody, and the changes that I needed to make within my character so that the next person down the road is going to be able to get like my 100%, and like a person that's never going to dehumanize them in any way and only build them up and never tear them down. So it sucks that I had to give that up, but I'm grateful that was able to learn the things that I've learned from that experience. So forever grateful for that person in my life, for sure.
Yeah, man. Well, it sounds like you made a pretty significant shift in your life in a relatively short period of time. Thanks for sharing that, man. What would you say to other people your age who maybe don't think pornography is a problem or just have no awareness about the impact of pornography?
Right, yeah. So, I mean, especially with kids my age, right? I feel like it's like it almost comes to like an everyday thing, something that you're not even really thinking about. Maybe in the back of your head, you're treating it as some sort of stress relief. And there's no thought process behind like the destruction that it's actually doing inside of you. And I think a lot of the things that I talk about, I run like my little Bible studies down here in Miami, and a lot of the things that I tell kids my age who come to my meetings is that in terms of pornography, there has to be a desire to pull yourself away. And I feel like what you have to do first is recognize the destruction that it's causing. People got to zoom out and realize like, oh, wow, like I don't even realize the way that I've been thinking about these current situations. And like, maybe I need to make a change because I don't like the way that I'm looking at women. I don't like that my mind constantly goes to this place every time that I see an attractive woman in public. There's got to be like a desire in your heart to just be like, I know that there's more, but clearly I'm caught up in a cycle that I don't want to be in. And you need to start making initiative to pull yourself out of that and trust that there's freedom and peace on the other side. And it's like how if you can't be trusted in being able to just love and humanize your partner, then why would like the higher power trust you with like an amazing, genuine, loving wife in the future? You got to give that stuff up now so that you can be trusted later with when you finally find your person. You're going to be able to love them like to the 100% that you possibly could. It's a long-term game. If you're keeping it up now and you keep doing it forever, I guarantee you that it's going to be very difficult for you to find that amazing wife that's going to, be your missing rib down the road. But if you're making these changes at a young age, then that's going to help you when you get into your adult life actually looking for these long-term relationships.
Love it, man. Love it. Doing the Lord's work.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I encourage anybody who's curious, check out my page. I've spread the gospel on there. It's all love. If you don't like it, just swipe on out of it. But yeah, I love doing the Lord's work. I think it's good, and I think it changes a lot of people. And there's a lot of good things in that Bible that'll teach you how to be a better person and be more loving and more forgiving. And I think that's very special in how we should be living.
Thanks for sharing, man.
No problem. I appreciate you bringing me on, man.
All right, man. Take care. Bye.
Have a good one.
You too. W's in the chat. For anybody saying everybody watches porn, all men do it. How old is that guy? 19? He doesn't do it. He doesn't do it. I don't do it. Hey there, what's going on?
What's up?
Not much. Are you 18 or over?
Based on religion, I'm guessing.
Are you 18 or over?
Yeah, man, I'm 44.
All right, cool. Is porn cheating?
No.
Okay, why is that?
If you watch it with your wife, significant other, all that other stuff, it's just looking for stimulation. It's not necessarily gives you ideas and things like that. It can be occasionally used and not be something that it's a crutch. I think it's all about moderation, right? Would you call somebody a pothead that smokes once a year?
I probably wouldn't.
Would you call them an alcoholic if they have a drink once a year? You probably wouldn't, right? Same thing.
Probably not.
So to say that it's all bad or anything, I feel like that's religious. People that use religion as a crutch need absolutism in their lives. They have to think all good, all bad. It's very hard for them to be able to discern good from bad unless somebody's telling them this is all good, this is all bad, based off of the fables that I read, right? So I think
Fables?
it's
What
kind
do
of
you mean by
weak-minded
that?
on,
How are
honestly.
you? Got it. Okay. What do you mean by fables?
The Bible, it's a group of fables that are used to teach you right and wrong.
Fables meaning not true, like made up?
Correct. Yeah.
All right.
Has there ever been a point in our history where we could load up two of every animal without them consuming one another, known predators on a
Yeah.
boat, and then capture,
Right here. I got a whole jar of animal crackers that did it right here. 2 of every one.
Yeah, more than 2, right? Yeah. And they're all deceased, right?
I don't know. I didn't ask them. They taste pretty good though.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
I think ultimately that's the thing is that,
Got it. How long have you been married?
I've been married for 26 years.
26 years. All right. And you watch pornography?
We occasionally we will. It's not something that we're like we have to use it just to use it. It's not a daily experience or anything like that. So I think it's in moderation, right? It's if the mood's right and that's something that we want to use, it's something that we do use. So I don't know about I don't keep a count necessarily, but it's kind of the same thing, right? If you've got a dependence on it, then I can understand there's bad in any kind of dependence, whether it be physical, emotional, all those things. I get that. So
Okay.
there's different varying degrees. That's why I think absolutism isn't the way to approach it necessarily, but
Got it. Where did you get this absolutism idea? I'm curious why you're introducing that here.
well, I think that's typically what Christians do, right? They have to.
But did somebody here say something that indicated that point of view?
Yeah, the last guest, I would definitely say he was rooted. He's 19, his brain hasn't fully developed, right? And we're in the comments saying, yeah. Well, he's also single, so you can be single, working on yourself, all these other things, but ultimately, he's not really a good specimen for love. Love hasn't found him yet, or he hasn't found love for some reason.
Got it. All right. So because he has chosen to not watch pornography for many reasons, one of them being religious, and he's decided to change how he treats women, not objectify them, but instead humanize him. Your experience of that is that what he was describing is not a good representation of love?
Well, no, I think that if he hasn't found it yet, I think yeah, exactly, right? If he hasn't found love and he hasn't been a part of love, then how can you comment on things that you don't experience, that you don't possess yourself, right? He doesn't have, I mean, it's for
What do you
real.
think
Like,
about
he doesn't
abortion?
have any experience.
What do you
being
think about
19.
abortion?
I'm sorry?
What do you think about abortion?
I think it's a medical procedure that some people need.
Why should you be able to speak on that?
Oh, I don't. I'm just saying I think it's a medical procedure that
Got
some
it.
people need. That's
Got
being
it.
very
Interesting.
vague
It's
about
interesting
it. I
how
think
you
a
just said he
woman
shouldn't be
has-
able to comment on this because he hasn't lived
Well,
it.
a woman
but you
has
commented on
100%
abortion.
choice. A woman has 100% choice.
Okay. All right. We're not here to get into that can of worms, but all right. So you watch pornography, you and your partner, at least sometimes. How would you feel if somebody was masturbating to a picture or video of your wife?
What I don't know doesn't hurt me, and that wouldn't necessarily it would make me feel a certain way.
Got it. Okay. So if other people had somehow obtained pictures or videos of your wife, it wouldn't bother you at all.
No, not even the least bit.
Interesting. Why is that?
I don't possess her. She's her own person, and so thinking that marriage is just a possessory one-way contract that she can't be looked at a certain way. It's not that she's not gorgeous anymore or any of those things just because she signed, and we have our names on a marriage certificate, right? Like, I think those things are the same. She's the same person. So if people find her attractive, I can't stop that.
That's not what I asked.
I think okay, so deduce it a little bit more then.
I asked how you'd feel if people were masturbating to pictures or videos of your wife, not if other people found her attractive.
Well, isn't that one and the same?
I don't think so. Do you?
It could be.
I think we can acknowledge beauty, but not lust after someone.
Yeah, I mean, certain people, sure.
Got it. Do you have kids?
Yep.
Got it. I'm not going to ask the questions, but use that same thought experiment.
Sure. You know, I think that's pretty weird to think about underage, but I think that's a Christian mentality, is right, like to look at children in the wrong way. Usually more of the abuse comes out of the Christian religion, out of churches, right? There's more molestation that takes place, and so that would speak to that for sure. That's a place that it happens more regularly than movie theaters, schools, all that, right? It happens more in the church. So yeah.
Got it. How old were you when you were first exposed to pornography?
Oh man, probably. So yeah, we owned a video store growing up, right? And so I accidentally walked back in one of the rooms and saw it probably at a really young age. I'd probably say 5 or 6, probably. And that's, you're like, oh shit, yeah, that's not something a kid should see, right?
I didn't say that, though I would agree with it, but why do you think a kid should not see that?
It's too big for them. They shouldn't be exposed to things that are too big. But we're living in a world where we're asking kids to see things that they shouldn't on a regular basis, not just sex.
What impact do you think that had on your brain when you saw that?
Oh, probably something substantial. I would say that it didn't give me an addiction or anything like that. It wasn't, but it definitely brought forth some questions that I probably didn't need to have when I was young, right?
Like what?
So I can look back at that and say it's pretty crazy. Yeah, to be exposed to those things. It's not necessarily like I was brought back there. I was, under my own volition, walked through a door that I shouldn't have. And that's the way it is. A lot of kids will experience things.
You're owning the responsibility as a 5-year-old for finding pornography and watching it?
No. I'm just saying that's how it happened. I'm not saying that that's the reality. I'm not saying that there's who's wrong. Sure. My parents for owning the video store. Sure.
Well, I mean, I would say in those situations, your parents made it available to you.
To an extent. Yeah, it doesn't make me any worse of a person today. I can promise you that. Again, with knowing healthy boundaries and all that good stuff, I think it probably had me have these realizations at a younger age and why I don't abuse it.
Got it. Do you think it's honoring towards your wife when you masturbate watching strangers have sex?
No.
Okay. Why do you do it then?
Again, I've kind of explained it. I think you give some new positions, some new techniques,
why would you do
some
something
things like
that is
right?
Why would you do something that's explicitly not honoring towards your wife?
Because we're not Christians. We're very open-minded people. We grew up in a Christian
just
household,
for the record,
sure.
you're the one who's introduced all the Christian and religious talk here.
Not true.
I'm happy to.
No.
No,
in our conversation, not in previous conversations, you can't look at it myopically like that.
No. In this conversation with me and you introduced it. In the last conversation with the previous guest, he introduced it. I'm happy to have that conversation.
Are you a Christian or not?
Define Christian.
Are you an active Christian? You don't have to go to church because, again, my parents always taught me that you don't have to be in church to worship, right? So is Jesus Christ your Lord and Savior?
I believe in and follow the teachings of Jesus Christ.
So why be so obtuse about that question?
Well, if you watch my content, people have asked me that question, am I a Christian, probably thousands of times by now. And when I ask them to say, what do you mean by Christian? I get a different answer pretty much every time. The wildest answer I got, somebody said, okay, a Christian it means to believe in something that's stupid. And so I respectfully said, based on that definition, I would not claim that I'm a Christian based on the way that person defined it. So I think it's important to make sure we know what we're talking about.
Sure. We're having customizations on religion, but not on the porn topic, right?
What do you mean by that?
So I've kind of proven my point about the absolutism. We're saying that it doesn't apply to religion, but it applies to pornography.
What do you mean by that? I'm not following.
You're not following.
Hmm.
So it's completely subjective, right?
What is completely subjective?
Both of those things.
What things?
Both religion and jorking, whatever.
Well, is pornography cheating? Is that what you're talking about, whether or not pornography is cheating? Are we going back to that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would say if you're in a committed monogamous relationship with another person and you've said something like, I love you, only you, mind, body, and soul till death do us part, if you deviate from that agreement, whether it's with a person on a screen or in real life, I believe you've gone against the agreement and you've therefore cheated.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I disagree with it. I think we've
Well,
already
where do
discussed why I
you disagree?
Because you're saying that it's a contract of absolute, right? That
It's an agreement.
there aren't.
It's an agreement.
Okay.
So if I agree that in marriage, right, you said you're married, there's probably some sort of exclusivity to that marriage, right? Otherwise you wouldn't have got married.
Sure. And the thing is that we're not out doing this with other people. It's in the confines of our own home. It's pretty innocuous when I look at it, but when you look at it, I think it's not. So that's where I'm trying to understand why, again, kind of the absolutism on that.
I don't get the absolutism, man. I don't get it. I don't.
The word or.
Well, I don't get why you
practicality,
keep practically how it's absolute.
Because you're saying you're making it a coin flip. It's good or it's bad.
No, I'm not. That's the first time those words have been used here. We can talk about whether it's good or bad. What I'm offering is if we've agreed to faithfulness, to monogamy, what I'm offering is that bringing other women into the home on a screen is not that much different than going and being with other women outside of the home. Because it goes against the agreement, which is, at least in my orientation, I am committed to you and only you. I will not go seek out other women, whether it's on a screen or in real life.
No, I can understand and I can see where you're coming from. But if we can look at just your title, is porn cheating? I would say cheating, is that a good thing or a bad thing? We can deduce this we can get really fundamental and we can see the prompt
whether or not cheating is good or bad, it's kind of irrelevant.
Oh, it's very relevant.
Okay. We could
Context
determine
words
that
have
after the
meanings,
fact,
right?
But so cheating, I would define it as going against an agreement.
So yeah, that might be a decent way of looking at it.
Okay. Would you say that going against an agreement is bad?
Well, so if we agree that it's not bad, does that mean that exclusivity is there's only one way to have this agreement? You're saying that can be outside of the agreement. It has to be for Christianity. It has to be. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to follow that.
Yeah. So if you're in a committed monogamous relationship, violating that would go against the agreement and therefore be cheating. If you're not in a committed monogamous relationship, then you wouldn't be bound to that agreement, right? Let's say you're in a polyamorous relationship. You are not agreeing to a standard of monogamy. So if you go and you're with multiple partners, you wouldn't have violated anything. So there's no problem with that for the confines of that relationship.
Correct.
Right? So no problem. Now, whether that's good or bad, that's a whole other conversation.
So wait, we're saying cheating, would that be considered cheating if you only if you outstep those boundaries? So what I'm saying is I'm being very pointed with this. It is not cheating in the definitions that I've given, correct?
I haven't really heard you give any definitions.
So in everything that I've said has been, we don't abuse it. We use it occasionally. It's an agreement upon us. So whether you consider that polyamorous or not, even though we're exclusive to each other, we were each other's first, last, everything.
Yeah, here would be my
So-
question is how exclusive are you to one another? Are you so exclusive that you will not bring other women into your home, whether it's on a screen
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
otherwise? Or does that
Absolutely.
or does
we
that
can see it on a screen
exclusivity
without bringing somebody in physically? That's completely
Got it.
different.
Okay, so your exclusivity would not apply to the content that you're watching on a screen. When it comes to
Right,
the
no, I mean,
content on the
that's-
screen,
you know,
there
I
is no
don't-
more exclusivity between you and your wife.
So there's complete exclusivity in the fact that we've only had one partner each other, right? Our entire
Mhm.
lives, that's it.
All right, so you
Now-
have physical exclusivity.
Sure,
But
but
not-
we
not with
also
what you
play
look
video
at.
games. And so to think that we've engaged in schmurder or any of these other things, we play Grand Theft Auto. So to think about all these things,
Yeah, the difference though in Grand Theft Auto, nobody died. In pornography, people actually get effed.
sure, that's no. I can understand that, but there's also depictions. There's a million different ways that you can consume it. So again, it's having this conversation, and I think I can land my plane on that too. It definitely feels like your definition of it suits you for sure, but there are other people that don't find anything wrong with it, that have healthy relationships, married 26 years, one partner, 4 kids. Like we have four kids that have never been in a church, but definitely have a great sense of right or wrong. A honor roll, honors classes, all those things.
Do you think
Volunteer.
pornography is wrong?
No, I wouldn't. If I caught any of my children using that, for example, I would know that, hey, there's probably more to it. If they're using this as an outlet out of curiosity or anything like that, that's what I want to find out. I want to find out if it's just a curious thing that if they have a physical dependence, then probably I'm going to see a lot of girls with that too, right? Or I'm going to see a lot of disappearance and a lot of loneliness. But we're not having those things, right? So I can comment on that. Obviously that's kind of a rhetorical.
All right.
But
So do you think you don't think pornography is wrong, and you it sounds like you wouldn't necessarily object to your children watching it, but you might have a conversation to kind of see how far
yeah,
they've
make
taken
sure
it?
that it's just if I caught my oldest son with weed, I would have the same conversation. If I caught him with another drug that's even more illicit, I would have the same conversation. You want to know why they use that, right? Why is this something? Is it friend derived? Is this something that's inside you? Sometimes being curious is not the problem, right?
Well,
So I
curiosity,
think
that's a
the
whole
thing.
other thing. Being curious is a great way to be, right? But that's secondary to whether or not it's right or wrong, right? Curiosity for how somebody started using it, yeah, absolutely. Right? You can't change what you don't name. And if you want to name something, you got to be curious about what's really going on.
Sure.
But so, I mean, yeah, man, I'm tracking with you, and it's puzzling. You're very intelligent, no question about that. But it seems like, especially with your exposure to pornography at a young age, I mean, what we know about pornography is essentially that it's not good for anybody. The people who make it, the people who consume it, the relationships of everybody involved, and what we especially know is it's devastating to a young developing brain.
Not out of 100% out of 100%, right? That would be absolutism.
Look, man, I would just
So, but you understand what I'm saying.
I get
It may
what
be
you're saying.
destructive
I
to
get what you're saying.
60-40.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I would just caution you on that. It's almost like you're
You
defending.
can caution me all you want, but I get it.
I got it. It's like you're defending. No, some children should watch pornography, which
Oh, I don't think they should. I just think that that's, if they're curious and that's what comes across, hey man, it's part of life to see things. You know, if I caught them watching really terrible stuff, you know, like a Faces of Death. I don't know if you ever saw any of that as a kid, right? We used to go to a video store when we were probably 18, 19, found a place that would rent, you know, those videos to us and all that good stuff. Hey, it is what it is, right? Like, we had a curiosity. Some people thought that was really demented, whatever it is. We're not practicing it. We're not doing it. It's seeing things, being curious about it, and then being done with it. I think that's part of it too. There's healthy, it takes everybody, like an addict or anything else, it takes self-realization. That's the reason why you would agree with me that the intelligence that I have is because I'm self-aware. That's probably what's lacking in anybody that has an addiction, is their awareness to themselves and the outside world, right?
Sure. I mean, yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, but I just like, I mean, exposing children to pornography, which porn has up to 88, it's been studied that up to 88% of pornography depicts acts of physical aggression or violence. And what we know is that what children see in pornography is how they form what will become their sexual relationships with other people. It's oftentimes a recipe for disaster. And my orientation would be, could we teach children healthy sexuality as opposed to letting pornography teach sexuality? Pornography is a teacher, but it's a pretty bad teacher, in my opinion.
Sure. I mean, I don't know how somebody would learn in a school setting anymore. They don't, like in my kids' school, they don't even do sex education anymore. It's on the parents in Texas. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have a lot more people that are going to seek out these things because it's taboo. And it's not. My mom made it. My mom bought me my first Playboy. It was no big deal because she wanted to make sure that, hey, get this out. And it was one of those things that was cool. Yeah. Put it away. Done with it. It was cool for a minute. And that's what most things in life are if you have the right self-control, right?
So just to circle it all back, you don't think it's honoring to your wife, but you do it anyways.
No, I think I'm not engaging by myself. We use this as again, kind of a tool for spicing it up, so to speak, right? And I think that's it.
Okay. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me up. No
All
hard
right,
feelings either way.
No, I got you. We'll see you. Bye-bye. All right, chat. Great being with you all today. W's in the chat for all our guests. Give me a follow if you like my content. Where's the follow button? Up there sometime. If you want to join a community of men and women who are healing through sexual brokenness, you want to restore your relationship and or your sexual story. If you've been betrayed by a partner who's using pornography, if you are struggling with it yourself or your partner is and you want them to get help, well, boy, do I have good news for you. There's hope. There's hope. What's up, Nikki? There is hope for you. You can go to the link in my bio, schedule a call. It's a $1 discovery call. It's a 30-minute call just to talk about your situation and if I may be able to help. It is not online. It will not be posted online. Any of the clips you see from me are from my live interactions here on TikTok. And then I have weekly groups, both for men and women, on Tuesday nights as well as Wednesday afternoons, where we heal together in community. Love the betrayal group. Who are you, Grub? Oh, what's up, Grub? This is Vineyard Vines. Thanks for asking. Got a little saguaro cactus on it. Shout out to Arizona. Shout out to Arizona. Leia, what's going on? All right, everyone, great being with you. Make it a great day or not. The choice is always yours. The choice is always yours if you want to make it a great day. You don't have to, but you can. So, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.